AITA for having my 25 female, uncle 56 male arrested. So I moved into my apartment, which I own, in 2020. I live a very minimalist lifestyle, therefore I don't own much, but what I do possess is something I consider to be a smart long-term investment relevant for later. I came into a plumbing problem that wasn't simple to fix, at least not for someone like me who knows nothing about plumbing. I contacted my uncle and asked if he could assist me. He came over with my aunt to see what was going on, and I dislike her. There are many reasons for this, including the fact that she grabbed my grandmother's ring despite the fact that it was bequeathed to me, and she pushes over others to achieve what she wants. She constantly cites her mother's death as an excuse, never mentioning that her father and she were extremely brutal to the mother, according to others who knew them at the time. My uncle was fine until she came along. Now, he caters to her every whim. I'm getting off track. She walks in and comments that I seem to be dirt poor, that I have little embellishments and seem uptight. I often say that I'd rather build memories than have things and then throw them away. Then she discovers my silver box, in which I store my sterling silverware. Now, this is just me, but I saved for a year or two to purchase quality flatware. My thinking was that it would appreciate in value, that I could pass it down to my children, and that it would or could endure a long time. I shrug her off when she begins asking what's in it. She continues going, as she always does, and I tell her it's heirlooms, not true but still. She goes on, and I finally give up and say it's flatware. She then asks how many place settings I have, and I tell her I can't recall. She goes on to explain she has a little dinner party coming up and asks if she may borrow it, to which I respond no. The rest of the time, she pouts. They depart with my uncle explaining that he needs a few tools and a particular item to repair my plumbing and that he will return later. I thank him and bid him go. We agreed that he would return a week later with a key I had put in the lockbox since I would be working. I've returned home. I have a look around. My blasted silver box is gone, and I know exactly who took it. I phone the cops, give them all of the information, and show them the images I took for insurance. Long story short, when they arrived, my package was in their dining room, and my uncle was jailed for stealing. My aunt continues contacting me and yelling at me that I'm a nasty person who will go to hell for giving him a criminal record. I believe she should have considered this before forcing him to do something he couldn't do because he couldn't take no for an answer. The silver itself is an uncommon pattern that is difficult to duplicate. She slammed my remark in my face, stating I thought you were looking for memories. It's simply nonsense. I got off the phone with her. This is where I believe I am TA. In my perspective, my uncle only did it because of my aunt. So I'm basically penalizing someone who would not have done it if they hadn't been under the influence. Then I become angry again, think about what a violation of trust it is, and feel great. AITA? Edit. Because my remark was hidden, I'll simply repost it here for clarity on the ring. It went lost for a long time. I didn't realize my aunt had stolen it until I saw her wearing it at a family gathering years later. She attempted to justify it by claiming that it was a different ring, and that I didn't have the money, time, or motivation to deal with it at the time because of school and everything else. Because my mother was battling cancer, I placed it on the back burner. Because of the ring, I didn't contact them or attempt to get it myself. I didn't want anything to go missing if I informed them. Thank you for all of your responses thus far. Story 2. AITA for not paying my stepbrother's tuition. Because the first version surpassed the character restriction, I had to trim it short. This is a quickie, and I'm on my phone. When I, 26 female, was 17 and my brother, 19 male, was 10, our mother died following a lengthy battle with severe sickness. To cut a long tale short, I developed severe depression and my father remarried within a year. I got along nicely with my stepmother and stepbrother, 18 male. On my 18th birthday, my father booted me out and my boyfriend took me in. I put myself through 4 or 5 years of college, I working almost full-time. After graduation, I obtained a management position with an outrageously fantastic income, and I was able to pay off the balance of my undergraduate debt while still saving a substantial amount. My brother is important to me since he is the only family member I have left. In August 2019, he informed me that our father was throwing him out, so my boyfriend and I welcomed him in to live with us on 3 conditions: stay out of trouble, perform some little tasks, and maintain decent grades. He by the restrictions and even acquired a part-time job to assist with the groceries. He and I had no communication with our father the whole time, just with our stepbrother, whom we consider a buddy. When he entered college this summer, I promised to pay for it provided he followed the rules. He did, and I paid for it. I'm quite proud of him, since he only gets A's and does exceptionally well. Dad, stepbrother, and stepmother all discovered out I was paying. Stepbrother is starting college this summer, and they can't afford it without incurring massive debt. So stepmother phoned and asked if I would pay for stepbrother as well. No, I said. I'd gladly pay for my brother, but not for my stepbrother. Since then, 4 days ago, this whole side of the family, including aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, and so on, has been calling me in for playing favors. I'm going insane because they won't stop even after repeated no. Ada? Edit. To clarify whether or not their stepbrother still lives with them. Yes, he does. He will be 18 in mid-November 2020. Edit 2. All of the calls I'm getting now are from my father or stepmother. My mother is the only survivor of her family. Also, I tried to contact them after I was thrown out, but they never responded. It's the first time they've contacted me. Update. A few hours after posting this, I began digging because I was curious how they discovered I was paying for my brother when no one except myself, my boyfriend, my brother, and my bank agent knew. My stepmother's buddy works in the college administration office, and she informed my stepmother that I was paying. I was enraged since this is an obvious breach of sensitive information, and I'm presently working with my attorney to sue her for it. Now, let's get to the meat of the matter. I reread the messages I received from my extended family after I posted. They felt strange to me. Something was bothering me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was the manner they accused and blamed me that irritated me. So I convened a Zoom meeting. When my father booted me out, they informed them it was my choice to go, and he is disappointed in his kid. When my brother was booted out, I told him the same tale. That's why they never contacted me. However, they had 9 years to do anything and never did. Thus, they are no longer in my life. I'd boot them and will not hear from them again. My father, stepmother, and stepbrother all contacted me many times. I continued to say no, and after discovering that they had lied to everyone, I didn't bother answering their calls again. After that, I blocked them. My brother and I have chosen to cut off all communication with everyone for the time being. I'm a little disappointed that I won't be able to communicate with my stepbrother. As I previously said, we had a terrific connection, almost like friends. However, he backed and agreed with my father and stepmother's approach to me, so I see no need to investigate time in this connection. I'm guessing he was just interested in the money, since he wouldn't have behaved differently. They attempted to blame me, claiming that if my stepbrother doesn't obtain a decent career, I'm to blame. I just don't care. I had to handle it myself since they didn't care. So I'm not going down without a fight. My brother, boyfriend, and I are moving to another city 45 minutes away next week anyhow. This has nothing to do with anything, so I won't be likely to run into them. We used to live in the same city, and even though it's quite large, there was always a potential of us running into each other. I don't believe they are aware of it, and I have no plans to inform them. I don't mind if they find out. They no longer exist in my eyes and my boyfriend, brother, and I will continue to live together as our small family. Also, in case you're wondering, my boyfriend has a large family, but they live on the other side of the globe, so I've only visited them twice in the 10 years we've been together. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful remarks. To address a few inquiries, I'm not in the United States on my mother's side. There is no family remaining. I got the opportunity to tell my extended family what had occurred, but except for 2 individuals, they did not believe me. I may reconcile with my stepbrother in the future, but I'm not in the appropriate frame of mind right now. My brother and I are already in the process of entirely disconnecting from my father, and we are preparing wills and medical power of attorney in case anything goes wrong. It just takes time, but my lawyer is working on it.